have this marked just where it comes up to the metal there. On this side, just on this side, inside of the tunnel, I think I can probably get, I would say, 7 inches inside. And if I measure from the inside to the beam, we got about, I'm going to say 30 inches. So 37 inches for that one, 37 inches for the one on the other side of the tunnel. And this one is going to be about the same length as that one. I'm cutting just a profile of a 2x4 going through. I'm going to be using 4-inch tube when I do this for real. So the 4-inch tube is going to be both higher and wider, so I'll be able to clean up the holes. I ran a file around here, took off some of the sharp edges. I've been cutting myself here. These, if the back seat's going, which it looks like it is, we'll be cutting out the anchors and everything else here. We'll leave the lip just to give some strength to the back there. I will actually probably put a piece of aluminum tube all the way across underneath, and then just bolt through with a thin plate on top to give it a little bit more strength. I don't want anything flexing there, and it's going to be kind of where the back of the batteries are. So I'm going to have 4 beams going across. I'm going to have at least 3 going side to side, but that's going to be on top of a piece of plywood. So the 4 beams are going to be across like this, an angle, straight, straight, and an angle. Then approximately 24 by 36 is going to be a 3/4 inch piece of plywood sitting on top, screwed down. And then on top of that, we're going to have, to get it up to the level of the top of the tunnel here, I'm going to be cutting things off at the top of the tunnel. To get up to that level, I'm going to need another inch, so I'll put an inch of board, and then we'll have the bottom of the battery case. The batteries themselves, there's a bit of a rubber that I'm using was some of the packing material inside the Better Place pack. Maybe it came from one of the carry-offs, I don't remember actually. It's going to be rubber, the floor, the rubber on top. There's going to be a case around, so there's going to, at the corner, or at the intersection where the beam is going across, and the beam is going front to back and across, we're going to have a vertical come up. And it's going to be on 2 on this side, 2 on this side, perhaps 2 in the middle, I'm not sure. I guess it depends on how much room we end up having. If I squeeze the packs together the way they are 30 inches tall. So 30 inches doesn't take us very far here. It takes us from here to here. So if it was centered, it'd be about like that. I was planning to take this part out. So if I put a 4-inch square tube on each side, which will be a 2x4 in the wooden version, that gives me good support on the sides to bolt to. We'll have a frame around the battery pack hooked to these verticals, and then of course we'll have a top, but the top is intended to be transparent. It'll be like lucite or plexiglass, something like that. And even with the plexiglass off, it is going to be touch safe. So there's going to be, for want of a better description, 2 layers of protection, so that you actually have to take some screws out or undo a clip or something like that in order to get your fingers into the battery, into the high voltage. The one pack, they're 130 volts a piece, so there's going to be 1 pack here, 2, 3. They're all going to be wired in series. Between the packs, or not exactly sure how to do this, perhaps between the 2 vertical pillars on this end, we'll have a contactor. Same on this end, and I'm not sure where to put it for the middle. And then between packs, instead of just going from negative to positive, I'll probably put a fuse. So we'll have 2 fuses and 3 contactors splitting up the pack. So when the power is off, and even If someone happens to contact both ends or both ends of the same pack, they won't be subject to a lethal dose of electricity. What else? This, as a beam, is going to go across. It's going to come through here. It's going to go across, and it's actually going to come up to the edge of this cross beam. Then we're going to have a couple of pieces of 2x4 that go up and then join to another one that goes on top of the beam and then down the back. So I'm not going to be screwing to the beam or bolting to the beam. I'm basically going to enclose the beam with the aluminum. I'm going to be doing the same thing with the wood. So it's going to go up, across, and down, and then I will close off the bottom, and that will be these pieces won't be able to slide any further that way because there will be the beam in the way. They won't be able to come any further this way because of the latch on the back, and they will be tied into the floor here, and the floor here, and here, and here. The weight of the batteries I'm a little bit worried about. I'm actually expecting or planning to put a small piece of 1/8" aluminum across between these two, and then a piece of 1/8" aluminum on the bottom, and then going through with rivets or screws or countersunk bolts, whatever it is, basically to spread the weight out across the floor. So the weight's going to be sitting on top of these 4 pieces, spread out to the floor. There is a couple of more structural pieces, which is what the gas tank was hanging off of. The gas tank is only about 70 pounds. This is going to be 400 pounds of batteries plus crating. So there's going to be better than 500 pounds back here, which isn't a big deal. I mean, two adults sitting back here could easily be 500 pounds, but I'm taking some of the structure out, so I'm going to put back as much as I can. Then on the back, on top of the 2x4s, which will eventually be aluminum, we're going to build it up and bolt it or secure it to the back of the trunk. Again, just to keep as many triangles, keep as many rigid connection points as we can, and hopefully we won't have any trouble with the batteries settling or wanting to tear through the floor. We're going to be moving the emergency brake. It is tied about here right now. On this side, it's actually tied higher. It's up about here, so it wasn't in the way. Over here, we're going to have to loosen the bracket, get it moved up. This bracket is a little low. We'll get that moved up as well. As long as I leave this where it is, I think I can mess with the rest of it. Besides getting these holes cut out nicely enough that I don't hurt myself, and getting this cut down all the way around nicely, that's probably going to be after I get the wood in and the battery pack in and take a look at it and see whether I really need to do that. That is going to give me an additional 4.5 inches. So instead of the battery pack being up to here, we're talking about it being down to here. So it's not a huge difference, but it should make a lot of difference to the handling of the car. Again, I'm not going to be driving slalom on this thing, but I don't want it to be top heavy and tippy. I believe that I'm going to end up investigating upgraded suspension for the back, just because it's not, as a 2-seat car or 2-door car, it's not really intended to have 500 pounds in the back all the time. What else? I think that's about it. This carpet's probably going to end up being peeled up, but it's here for now. And I got to come up with a way to seal this so that our friendly neighborhood mice that are looking for a place to winter don't take the opportunity to come into the car and make their new home.